Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out Dreii in the past, because that's just how I do these things these days. No, actually, it's a bit of a longer story than that. You see, Dreii is mainly meant to be a co-op game done over the internet, and I didn't think I was going to be able to find anyone. Turns out I did. So my original plan was to get the game going via PS4 and Vita, because I do have a PS4 in here, and play with myself, basically, which is a really bad way of putting it, but I'll put it that way anyway. But yeah, the idea is it's a multiplayer game, so I was thinking I could probably hook up my PS4 and my Vita to each other and see if I could get a co-op game going. Fortunately, I actually managed to run across someone on the Vita version, and we decided to do a couple of puzzles together. Then I hooked up all my capture kit stuff, and we started working on this one really hard puzzle that I couldn't get done by myself just because the timing is that much of a pain in the ass. Despite the fact that they let you play this puzzle in single player, I don't think it's actually possible to get it done in single player just because there's some wind that comes in that blows the whole thing over. But anyway, what is Dreii? Well, it's a really, really simple puzzle game. It's a bunch of physics, and you gotta use all the physics objects to get a white cube over the top of the glowing dot thing there. There are some special types of cubes, like you've got, what's the word for it? You've got cubes that don't move, cubes that don't count towards the goal, cubes that explode for some reason. And you've got things like wind and thunder that will get in the way sometimes. The main obstacle in this puzzle is the wind. The wind comes in every now and again and just blows over your tower, and it's a real pain in the ass. Me and this guy had a real problem trying to get this puzzle done. I eventually just get really exasperated and hold a block up in the air, but the thing is, you can't communicate with anything more than a bunch of preset words. There's no audio chat or anything, so you can't do something like, say, hey, put down a block on top of this block I'm holding in the air. This will get the puzzle done a lot faster. No, you can't do that. So we ended up spending 9 minutes trying to figure out this stupid bastard of a puzzle. Some of these puzzles can get really annoying too. I mean, the game's control is alright, I guess. It's a little bit sensitive, and considering it's a physics-based puzzler, you want this to be as precise as possible, and it could do to be a little bit more precise. Thankfully, you can grab every individual object by its different edges. So, like, you can grab a cube by its 4 sides, for example. That actually works alright. Just, yeah, the problem is when you come to, like, having to make things such as a really wobbly, shaky tower, it's a massive pain in the ass to get done. You can use the analog stick or the D-pad, which is actually kind of nice. I mean, the analog stick worked pretty well for me, but I ended up using the D-pad. But, yeah, it's just a bit of a pain because the physics objects are so wobbly sometimes. It's just really annoying to deal with, and especially when you get a puzzle like the one I'm showing on screen right now, where you have to get it done in a specific amount of time, and if you don't get it done, the whole thing just blows over and you have to start again, because that puzzle just feels like it was really put in to be a fuck you, play with someone that you can actually talk to, or you're not going to get shit done. Maybe if you were capable of putting the game, like having 2 people in the same room on the same internet connection, hopping on and playing this game in the same room, being able to talk to each other over voice, or possibly party chat or something like that, because this isn't one of these games that requires the whole RAM of the Vita so you can use the party chat or stuff. If you could get that together, maybe it'd be okay, because despite the fact that there are multiplayer specific puzzles, every puzzle in this game can be played multiplayer. If you could do that, the game might be enjoyable for you. But the thing is, it's actually kind of hard to get a multiplayer connection going, purely because of the weird idea that the game is very minimalistic in its menus, and I really think this works to its detriment. There's no, like, way to auto-matchmake yourself with other people. There's no way to automatically set yourself up with your friends or a puzzle that they're on. It's just really bloody annoying because you have to rely on the game's automatic system. The system automatically puts you in the same level as someone if you're going into the same level as them, but sometimes it just doesn't work. I had a lot of trouble getting my PS4 and my Vita hooked up, so it was really kind of dumb luck that I ended up showing up with this guy. So yeah, it's a really minimalistic game, and the minimalistic menus really work against it, honestly. It's a bit of a pain. And considering that you can only chat in singular words, that's a real bit of a downside as well, especially on the Vita version. Like, the guy I'm looking at here, I think he was on the PlayStation 4, because I was playing with him earlier on the PlayStation 4. It's a long story, don't get me into it, because I'll just be here forever. And the system worked fine. Use the right analog stick to talk to people. But for some reason, on the Vita version, it's broken. And I just say hello like 5 times in a row whenever I try to do anything. It's weird. It's really weird. Also of note, the Vita's performance goes from anywhere from acceptable to shit. It can drop in frames so hard that it becomes really hard to tell when you're about to put something down. It's just not that well programmed. It says it's programmed in Unity, but, you know, Unity games don't really perform that well on Vita. It's even more annoying, mainly because, what's the word? It's mainly more annoying just because of the way the physics objects are. So you just end up having to Hail Mary for half these puzzles. The game's got a fair amount of puzzles. You've got like 50-something spread across 6 zones, and the puzzle I'm playing right now is the end of Zone 2, and that took me like 25 minutes to get to, so there's not that much content, but there are a lot of puzzles, and they do like different routes. And the game can be played single player because it locks out all the, or it's supposed to lock out all the multiplayer required puzzles, but again, this puzzle here, I can't see how you can do it with a single person, just because whenever the tower gets knocked over, like it just did, you have to set up all the blocks again one by one, and I just don't think anyone has the time, like the physical speed to get that done. I would be surprised if they didn't bother testing this version of the game. I mean, surely someone did, but I find it hard to believe that someone got this puzzle done on their own on the Vita. PlayStation 4, maybe. You can be really precise on that version, and it's 60 frames per second, despite some really weird frame rate drops that tend to happen. The Vita can barely hold 30, and it isn't that pleasant to play. So, yeah, overall, Dreii is just weird. It's not that good of a port. It's too minimalistic for its own good, and some of these puzzles are just real arse-benders. I don't even know what the word arse-benders means. It just means this really frustrates me. It frustrates me so much, and I really don't like it. So, the game costs like $13 or something as well. Like, I remember it costing something really ridiculous, like 12 bucks or something, and it's just like, why? I mean, I went and had a look at the same game on Android, and it costs $5.59. I mean, that's in Australia. It probably costs like $5 in the United States or something. It's just, why does it cost so much? And considering that you can't do crossplay with the iOS and Android platforms, at least as far as I can tell, you're kind of stuck if the game has no players. And considering how simple the game is, I don't see it holding players for very long. It's just entirely too frustrating. Maybe if... Oh, well, I already stated all my problems with it, and I don't want to stick around watching this video for too long, because if it runs out, I just have to talk over a black screen. But yeah, the game costs, when it loads, yeah, it costs 12 bucks, and I just think that's too much. Like, even being free on PlayStation Plus might have been too little for this game, especially for its multiplayer community. Maybe if it cost 5 bucks, it would do a hell of a lot better, but 12? Really? It just seems like way too much for a game that relies on its multiplayer community. And then again, I don't see many people coming through to play this game again after they finished it the first time. And that's if they can make it all the way through the game with frustrating puzzles like this fucking Tower of Typhoon or whatever the bloody hell you want to call it. Either way, Dreii, I don't like it. I really don't. I wish that it would do a lot of things different. That's basically all I've got to say about it. This is where I got frustrated, and you'll see ROD360 leave. And thank you for putting up with me as long as you did, mate. But I'm sorry. This has been Blue Maxima. Please don't buy this game if you like good games. I'll see you all next time.